Crone's getting a split. Mizzy in front of the 100. Crone goes up the inside and Crone takes the lead in the Gilmore. Crone draws clean out from Mizzy. It's a Queensland victory. Crone beat Mizzy.
Ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to the Mock Sports Presents the Quaddie Poddy. Cashy joined by Nico. How are you, mate?
Good, mate. Good. Another good week of racing coming up. We've got the Championships week 2. Looking forward to it. Another good week for the tip-off for us, and then hopefully we can make some money here as well, punters.
100%. We were down in Adelaide last weekend. What a weekend it was.
Yeah, it was pretty good down there. Some of the footy games weren't as good as probably we expected. The first, in particular, the two Adelaide teams, both those games were pretty stinker, but then the Saturday kind of turned up with the Carlton Freo game and then the Bulldogs Geelong game. So yeah, I was happy to go down there. Thanks to Dabble, got those videos out for them as well. So if you see them, they're on our account, also on Dabble's account. We've got some stuff on that they sent us as well. So shout out to Dabble, which we always do a bit later. But yeah, it's good, man. And then I'm really pumped up for this week. A big weekend for punting. You've got the Masters that start tomorrow morning. I've got a couple bets on for myself. Obviously footy, NRL as usual, and then a big racing weekend. So yeah, good weekend coming.
Let's touch on that racing. We were pretty chuffed that we were missing out on it because we thought it was going to get canned, and then even if it didn't get canned, well, what a miserable day. It's going to be 70 mils of rain. It's going to be wet. It's going to be stinky. Then the sun comes out and dries out to a heavy 8. It's a miracle. And the track raced absolutely perfectly. So all's well that ends well for Sydney racing.
That's it. It was Sydney really turned up on the Saturday for them in the end. So it's good that they got that racing done, and thank God they got it done on a not too bad of a track, because if it was in much more of if it was a real bad slop, it would have been ruined the racing. So
hats off to him. Hats off to him to produce a track that not only raced like a genuine heavy, and it wasn't that heavy 15, but to be able to be upgraded throughout the day because it really dried out.
Yeah, it's crazy.
That renovation has done wonders. So the track team, you know,
Shout
2 years ago would have been canned most likely. You know, it was underwater at 6 a.m. in the morning, and then all of a sudden, by race time, you saw it, punters. It was pitch perfect, ready for racing. So let's talk about the big sort of results. First off, like Celestial Legend.
Yeah.
What a ride from Tyler Schiller.
Yeah, you missed that, mate, in the end.
Yeah, I said it was one of my 3 top chances, and I sided with Lady Laguna. She's just come to the end of her prep. But Celestial Legend wins the big one. Many horses got stuck in traffic, as it happens with those big fields, but he made sure to find his gap, muscle his way through, and he got it done. Yeah,
my tip, Zugotcha, got scratched in the end. So, yeah, unlucky for her. I guess they probably just didn't think she was well suited.
Queen of the Turf this week instead.
Yeah, so she'll probably go on and win that, but we'll talk about that a bit later. So I switched over to Obam, my Golden Eagle tip, who just got stuck. Couldn't find that gap. Ran all right, just couldn't find a gap to get through and went too late. So, yeah, it is what it is in the end. But, yeah, I know we missed a lot of the races because we were down in Adelaide, but we did get to watch that Doncaster, so I was happy with that.
Another race we got to watch was the Sires, and what did I say? Lay Stormbet. Stormboy. Lay Bet Stormboy.
Yeah.
And he just, there's excuses. He was 3 wide the trip the whole way, and, you know, it probably busted his gut, but still, he didn't prove in the Golden Slipper that he was that big, strong world beater that we all need to be scared of. He was vulnerable. The price wasn't what it needed to be. Manal still ended up overs, you know, geesh, bob of the head in the end, but still she got the job done. We've been crying for months. We said back when she was $10 a place to be getting on her. So for her to win, very chuffed with that.
Yeah, happy with her. That was one of my top girls out of the trials, so could be almost as my osmosis. Not as much because I'm not a fan. I'm not a fanboy, but I did find that in the same trials you found as osmosis at. So happy with that, but yeah. We move on to the next.
Yeah, and I think away from that, like there were some results that you can and ah about. Stock standard in the end. You know, Riff Rocket, how good is he? He's now done the ATC and VRC Derby double. So, I mean, you can cry on about how good he's going to end up being. Cox Plate, maybe. We shall see in the spring. He could definitely potentially give it a shake. But the only other big surprise of the day would probably be we go over to Perth. Who lost?
Yeah, your girl.
Amelia's Jewel lost. Jeez, we could go on and on about how overrated I think that horse is, and I think that proves it. First up, she's not fit enough. Who cares? If she's not beating horses over here, she's not going to beat her horses over here. So, till she comes over here and wins a big race, I'm still not going to be giving her flowers, and I think that's fair enough.
TJ Smith, Chain of Lightning.
Yeah, that was the one that I was saving to the end. How's Chain of Lightning come out and won a TJ Smith?
Yeah, I don't know. Imperatrice wasn't that far off in the end. Yeah, gives it a good price for next up, I guess. But Chain of Lightning winning that race, I don't think anyone expected. I think Peter Moody was just as surprised, to be honest.
People put out a just like Gay in the slipper would have been, "Guy, I wish I win. Guy, I wish I win. Damn it, the filly.
Yeah,
The girl got up. No way." Like,
literally.
I wish I win. I said last week, I reckon could be an M-bomb next start, but I think we'll just find them too sharp here. And yeah, it just came up short. It was absolutely steamrolling home, but just came up short. Probably would have been the fitness next start. My goodness, watch out, because he was absolutely flying. But we have a couple of retirements coming out of that. Cylinder heads to the breeding barn, as does Imperatrice. So, I mean, Imperatrice we're going to touch on a bit more in the listener questions. Is there anything else to touch on before we actually go to them?
Is there anything else you want to cover? I think
they've all been asked about in the listener questions, the things we'd probably be touching on, like the Winx filly, Imperatrice's retirement. Those all get asked by the listeners, so take us there, mate.
we'll go through. So first one from Horo, thoughts on the 10 million Winx filly?
Wow, a lot of money. The American came out and said, I'm willing to go to 9.5, so Debbie just went, stuff you, I'll go to 10. And that's what made him pull out. And, the Winx filly stays in Australia. Good for, to keep that pedigree here. Will that horse turn out to be any good? Your good as guess as mine. Good mares don't often produce good babies, but if it does, fantastic for racing if we get Winx 2.0. If anything, it's just going to mean that's a precedent's been set. Anything that Winx touches, just expect prices to soar.
Yeah. Next one. I'll answer that. Sorry, I didn't give my answer. Yeah, really good for racing. Gets it out in the news as well. So it's good to promote racing.
It's good that Debbie owns it as well. It's funny that she just bought it back from the other owners that wanted to sell it, and she went, well, if you guys want to sell it, I'll just buy it back for whatever it costs. And so likely going to be racing in the Lindemann silks, the Riff Rocket silks, those Woppet bloodstock purple and white stripes. So should be interesting.
Punters and collectors, what's your thoughts on Asphora heading over to the UK?
Won't be winning, I don't think, but I'm always ready to get behind an Aussie horse headed over there. I mean, if Nature Strip was able to get it done, Asphora's no Nature Strip, so I don't think it's going to be able to tackle the best.
It depends what race it goes to. You might be able to find it in a good one. So
yeah, happy to get around it. Don't know if it'll be winning. Needs to see if it can actually perform and travel well.
Yep, Lockie Howard, Benedetta, overs at 3s.
Over in Adelaide, getting prepared for the Adelaide Carnival, I guess, or maybe even the Brisbane Carnival. Headed out there for some sprints there. Probably. She's better than most of that field, so I would say overs, yeah. Anything above 2s would probably be overs, in my opinion.
And Henry, how many lengths does Osmosis win by?
Flemington straight, mate. He's winning. The kid's back. We got a couple from the Discord as well. Locke asks, what's the best roughie of the day? We'll talk about that more through the rundown, but spoiler alert, mine is goes by the initials of TDL. That's all I'll say now. Astro wants to ask, what are some of the upcoming horses and jockeys to look out for? It's a toughie.
It is a toughie because obviously your 2-year-olds just have a prep, and I think a lot of them are pretty self-explanatory. You got to take out of the 2-year-olds, I'd say Manal probably, obviously Lady of Camelot would be one to look at how she goes this weekend. I think Espionage raced well, looked pretty good in race 1, so you're going to have a look there, but there's going to be a couple of them that come back. So
I reckon depending how he comes back from surgery, I think Switzerland could be a world beater as a 3-year-old. It just depends. It all depends how he comes back from that surgery. Horses often aren't the same when they have that surgery, but he was looking really good before that. Jockeys, I think Anna Roper, she's fantastic through the provincials and the country. She'll become a city regular soon enough. And then apart from that, you know, they're mostly running around the country, and we don't really cover country racing. We focus just on the metro levels.
Yeah, I couldn't tell you any.
So just keep your eyes on Dill, Tyler, and Zach. They're going to continue to do wonders in the saddle as you know, young jockeys coming through. And then Uncle Camo just wants to know, does Osmosis win and by how much by? He wins. Flemington Straight. I'll talk about it a bit later. But anything else to touch on?
We get straight into it,
Oh,
mate.
actually, wait. I have one more that was DM'd. Sorry, Benny O'Brien. How could I forget? He wants to know, do we feel like we're closing the book on another new generation of horses with Cylinder, Imperatrice, Think It Over, and others all retiring?
Imperatrice is a big loss to the sport, I think. I think that was almost coming as a new kind of face of racing a little bit.
Yeah, she's earned champion status, but if she was to go to the spring and then win another 3 Group 1s and an Everest, like, you're right. She would have been...
I would have liked to see her run in an Everest in the spring, just to at least answer those questions, because now it's kind of... We're kind of out there searching. We've been searching ever since Animo kind of left, and it looked like Imperatrice is the new one to kind of follow a little bit, and then it's kind of missed the last 2 kind of jumps. The last 3 hasn't been too impressive, and it's kind of fallen off, I guess. So,
and they're now off to retirement.
Cylinder, probably the right call. Probably going to get the most money out of it now to breed.
The Group 1 helps.
Group 1 helps. Yeah, I don't know if it's end of like an era, I guess, but it is. It's. I think Imperatrice is the biggest one that's kind of like annoying for the sport. I would really like to see it push on into the spring, and obviously that's racing. It's always up to the owners and trainers and stuff. So it is what it is. But I would have loved to see it running in Everest against some of those good horses coming through.
I'd like to see if a really good horse puts its head up and then retires next year, because the last 3 years, 2024 can be, Imperatrice. Last year, Nature Strip retired. It was either the year before that or the 2021. No, it was the year before that. The Very Elegant retired. And I'm thinking off the top of my head right now, I can't think of who in 2021 would have been the one, the big horse to retire. But I'm looking forward to seeing, if someone else is able to put their head up and continue that trend of like a really, really good horse.
I think they're just waiting for a horse that's going to come along. It's going to be a gelding, and it's going to race for a couple of years. Like Nature Strip race for what?
Yeah,
ages, 4 or 5 years.
Race for ages. So
race for ages and got better with age. So
you're right, it's annoying. The best horses end up being those ones that need to retire early for breeding
so
purposes.
all the girls obviously can breed, and then the colts obviously can breed. So if they're young, if they get gelded pretty early, then they're looking. That's their best chance, I think. But finding that horse is harder, easier said than done.
Yep. Okay, mate. If you're liking what you're hearing, guys, or liking what you're seeing on the YouTube, make sure to give us a like, share, subscribe, give us a 5-star rating. If you do, it just helps us grow. It helps get us into the ears and eyes of new people. And then, the bigger we grow, the more content we can bring to you guys, and bigger and better stuff. And shout out to our good friends at Dabble. We're repping the merch right now, mate. Yeah,
shout out to them. They're the Aussie-owned bookie that help us out, and they definitely are such a good bookie that we follow. Any bets that we mentioned in the podcast, you can go onto our account, have a look at them, use one click, and it's into your bet slip. Put whatever stake you want on. We don't discriminate with whatever stake. You can win as much as you want. You can lose as much as you want. So it's easy as that, punters. But Dabble, have a look at our account at the Mock Sports on the app. Join the other 26,000 punters that are following us on the app. And,
use the code MOCKSPORTS when signing up to let them know we sent you. If you do so, make sure to gamble responsibly. Think about what you could be buying instead and set a deposit limit.
Just before we get into it, mate, there is one thing we forgot to say that I didn't discuss with you that we were going to mention, but there is something that's coming out that we have been working on behind the scenes. And we are finally getting a horse.
Okay, I was looking at your eyes and I was like, what's he saying here? Where's he going with this?
We're getting 2 horses, which is pretty good. We can't really release too much information just yet.
Yes, we'll be launching it soon, but we
just want to put it out there to punters. This is going to be one that's going to be followed on our socials, and it's going to be promoted by us. but it's open to others to get involved. And if you want to get involved in a horse that we also are going to be owning, hit us up, send us a DM or send us whatever, and we can send you through to the right people and you could own the horse with us and it'll be something we can follow along. I just think I'd rather put it out there and have some of our followers or someone that listens to us that wants to get involved. If you want to get involved, you can either email me, which is on our Instagram in our bio, or you can just DM us, whatever you want to do. Just send us a message if you want to get involved and I can send you through that kind of information. But I think it'll be pretty cool if we can get enough people to try and get that through instead of just a random syndication kind of thing.
100% mock horse. That's all we'll say for now. We're announcing it fully in the next couple of weeks. But yeah, just to tease you a little.
It'll come out in the next 2 weeks. But if it's something you're interested in is owning a horse with us, we can set up different percentages, whatever it is. Not too sure what the budget is just yet, punters. Yeah. But if it's something you're looking at and you're interested in, have a chat to us and we can get back to you. And at worst case, if you're not interested, it's all good at the end of the day. But thought we'd put it out there.
Yep.
We'll get straight into the track report, mate.
Yeah, T's need to be crossed, I's need to be dotted, but we're very, very excited. Let's just say that. Track, soft 6 currently, but if we were able to get down to heavy 8 from a foot underwater last week, I assume it's going to be bone dry, you'd hope, out to at least a soft 5 or a good 4 with the sunny days we've got planned. Rails out 4 metres from the 1,400 metres to the winning post, out 3 metres for the remainder. That's sort of on the brink of when Randwick starts to sort of have a slight advantage to the leaders, but only slight. I emphasise slight there. You just got to monitor it throughout the day. Last week played perfectly. It was, some leaders got up, some swoopers got up, so just monitor it throughout the day. Race 1, 1,600 metres. This one really could be won by anyone, punters. The Fernhill Mile, one of the weaker Fernhill Miles I've seen in a while. The B grade, potentially even the C grade 2-year-olds step up to the mile for the first time. This is more to see how they're running it out. The trainers of the horses who are in the Champagne next week will keep a close eye on this one to see, the strategies and the how these 2-year-olds are running out to 1,600 metres for the first time. But these are all names that you didn't see get anywhere near a slipper, didn't see anywhere near a size. So it's it's anyone's game here. So I want to look for value, and I think Rasp is certainly an each way player I can have. He's always looked like he's been screaming out for longer. He gets that here. He also gets Jamie Carr. The Carr and Cummings combo is usually a plus. $8.50, $2.40 to place. I'm happy to have a play on it and see how she goes. How he goes. Rasp for me.
I'm going just party here. Timmy Clark, $4.60 and $1.75. So just out of that each way odds, but I'll take it on the nose here. Last start one at Wyong at $13.50. Ran pretty well as well. It was a short price, but won pretty nice, and it was kicking on pretty good. So gets the extra $2.50 here. Pretty happy with it. So just party will be my tip. As we head over to race number 2, 1,400 metres, another absolute donkey race here, punters. I will be staying away from this as a punting perspective. I'm going raises, $7.50 and $2.60 for me. Third place last start behind Gringotts, which is good form to go off. Gringotts is a horse that we have been following pretty closely, and it's won us quite a bit of money. So raises will be the one that I follow, $7.50. Another Godolphin, Jamie Carr combo to start.
Back to the Kandinsky abstract well for me. He's lost me a bit of money in my time, but he looked like he showed a bit of ability first up. Plus, if you go back through his form lines, he has beaten Celestial Legend. Of course, won the Doncaster last week, so it's got to be respected. $10 to win, $3.30. Going to give him another crack. If he runs terribly here, I don't think you'll ever see me put my money on him again. We skip race 3. That's the tip-off. Take us to race 4, mate, the Percy Sykes Stakes.
Yeah, we've got a race 4. Lady Camelot comes out here, and I don't think she wins, personally.
I think the slipper winner wins.
Nah, it's just, I hate when they do this. Two-year-old slipper winner comes out, and they give her an extra 5 kilos, put 59 kilos on a 2-year-old's back out of the 13th barrier. It's all points that are just leading towards negatives for me. I just can't be on it. For me, I think I'm going to go with 2 Darn Lizzie for one more shot here. The third place last start to forgive when she's at her best, which we saw at the Millions. She was insane. So $15 and $3.70. I'll take her.
Yeah, TDL for me as well. I mentioned, 2 Darn Lizzie is my roughie of the day. I'm all over her. Lady of Camelot, like you said, gets that extra 5 kilos plus the old slipper curse. They don't often go out and win another race. Was scratched from the sires to come here instead to, just be against the girls. Will they be able to beat her? Maybe not. Maybe class will prevail. But again, maybe the curse prevails and then she ends up heading to the breeding barn not doing much else. But Two Done Lizzie, man. The only reason she lost last time was the fitness gave out. Waterhouse and Bott, I think, got a little bit too cute with her for the Slipper Prep, considering they already had 8 runners in the field. But so, I mean, she gets fitness from that. The tick over trial, very, very sharp. Comes here with the stable's lead rider. There's almost no speed drawn under her, so she'll slide right over, as will Lady of Camelot. They'll be the ones going around the turn 1 and 2, most likely. It'll be a tough ask to beat the Slipper winner, but, you know, the weight swing helps. Don't count her out. The fact that she's paying $4 for a place alone is ridiculous. She's overs. It's my roughie of the day. Keen to bet into her. And just as I said that, as you said, she's come in price. She's at $15 to win, $3.70 to place. Still overs as hell in my mind. Two Done Lizzie for me in the 4th. As we move to race 5, the Arrowfield Sprint. Need I say more? Osmosis is back, ladies and gentlemen. He's back. Hopefully he jumps at the right time this time. And if he does, it's over. He's back in the Derby Silks as well. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. The kid gets it done. The kid's good. Back to the 3-year-olds as well. He's back to his own age group. Set weights. The kid gets it done. The kid gets it done comfortably. Best of the day for me, Osmosis.
Jolly Star for me, $9, $2.90. Horse have followed pretty closely. Always a very, very consistent horse. Has not missed a Quinella so far in its career. So go each way there, punters, and you will be making some money for sure. So I will be with Jolly Star.
Fair enough. We go to the 10th, mate, because 6 to 9 is also in the tip-off.
Yep, we go to race 10. I'm going to keep it pretty simple, 1,200 metres. I'm going to be with red card here. 1 for me last start. Pretty nice for me. And yeah, very nice. Keep it like that.
Give me Tashi. Fly in this prep. Yet to miss the Quinella last start. Only got beaten by the one and only Chain of Lightning, who went out and won a TJ last week. So it's got to be good form there. Just has to be my play in the last. $5 on Tashi, mate. As we move to the great tip-off, before we get really stuck into it, just got to give a shout-out to our good friends at Thoroughbred Leasing, who are kind enough to sponsor our wider tip-off that we've done with the community. 40 punters going head-to-head, tipping all 20 races at the moment. Currently, the leader is, I'll get it up, is one of our listeners, the keen listener of BJ Cook. He is holding on by a thread at the moment. Can he be run down? Let's wait and see. But Thoroughbred Leasing, they have on offer a colt by winning Rupert out of the family of Dashing Eagle, Osborne Bulls, Galaxy winners at Pateo, Viridine, Gerazana, and Brief and Brace. If you want to get involved with them, you can get involved with a one-time only, small, once-up front lease fee. You can terminate your interest in 1 month notice. You know, no further liability at any time for any reason. They've been racing horses for the past 20 years with great success. The horse is going to be trained by Bjorn Baker, so if you're a fan of his and want to get a horse trained by him, you can get around this horse as well. You can come and join their latest partnership by contacting Graham on 0407 948 483 or email graham at thoroughbredleasing.com.au. Those details will be in our show notes as well. Mate, the only points either of us got in our tipping comp that we do just for the feature races was Manal, so not much of a change. You're still in front by just under 6 points going into the last couple of weeks. This is really going to, you know, sort it out because we only got, I believe, 2 races next week to finish it off. But we got quite a few to get through. So we start with race 3. That's going to be the Midway Championships final. It might be a Championships final, but it's a glorified Midway, so be careful, punters. Who are you thinking and why, Nick?
Tough one for me. I think I'm going to go with the Kim War Train, Shadows of Love. $9, $2.90 for a place. 2 wins at the 1,200. At the 1,200 and 1,100. So an extra 200 meters here. But it's been pretty sound this prep. So gonna give her a shot here. So $9, $2.90. Pretty happy with it.
Fair enough. Before I say my tip, just popped into my head. Well, I should have said it when I was talking about Adelaide earlier, but we bumped into a lot of followers. Thank you for coming and seeing us. Shout out to the boys in the Gold Coast Scarves who were chirping us from across the row. If you're still listening, we appreciate it. I'm going to be with Terramata here, mate. I mean, I don't know why it's at $13 and $3.70 to place, considering the way it absolutely tore through all of the grades and won quite a few midways quite easily. Got the job done in one of the last qualifying races on the 3rd. And, I mean, Nash on board. Yet to miss the Quinella at the track. Yet to miss the Quinella at the distance. You know, every time Nash has been on, they've managed to get the job done. If it dries out, it's only missed the Quinella once. If it's wet, never missed the trifecta. I mean, each way, I think it's, you know, one of the easier bets to have in a very, very open race. $13 to win, $3.70 on Terra Mata. As we go back to race 6, mate, we'll go to the Oaks. Is it a 2-horse race between Orchestral and Zardozi again?
No, I don't mind Quintessa. I think she can be.
Fair enough.
She can be in there. The 3-year-old filly's not too bad, but I think even Tuda La Vida is one that can't be counted out. So I definitely don't think this is a 2-horse race. This is a good race in my opinion, one of the better ones of the day that I will be watching closely. I'll go with Zardozi. I think she's at best at the 2,400 meters. I think she's got scratched last week for a reason. She's coming to this one. She's going to have a crack. $5 for the win. So Zardozi for me. Orchestral's a bit of a worry. If Orchestral gets out to $2 punters, that will be my tip. Once you get to $2, I will be with it. If it stays under, I will not touch it. Zardozi for me at $5 is much more of a value play. A bit more value than I would at $1.60. So if it gets to $2, I'll take that for the tip off. If it doesn't, I'll take Zardozi.
Is it if it gets there at all or just at the jump?
If it gets there at any point before the race, gets at $2, I'll take Orchestral.
Fair enough. I'll be on Zardozi for similar reasons. Orchestral, obviously the best horse in the race, in my opinion. But did the last start bust her, considering she had to work a bit more harder than they probably would have wanted? Who knows? But I mean, best horse in the race, that'll take her a long way. J-Mac on board. Cam's confident, Jockey's confident. Likely, could be winning. Best probably puts a space on them, but Zardozi at that price, $5. If Orchestral's not winning, Zardozi will be, so I'm happy to take the larger odds there with Zardozi. We go to race 7, the Sydney Cup. It's always very, very open. Who are you possibly thinking and why?
Tough one. I'm going to go with Major Bill here, third up. So give it a crack here, $18 and $5 for a place. I think this is a real hard one to pick punters, but I've gone with a bit of a low weight kind of option here. Military Mission was my other real look, but it's a bit too heavy for me. So go what you want, punters, but I'm going to stick with that. Actually, I'm going to go Serpentine.
Damn it.
Sorry, I've just missed that. I'm going Serpentine. $11, $3.50, one for me last start. I'll take Serpentine here. My bad, punters. Thank you very much. I saw you smiling. I'm like, why is he smiling? And I've missed Serpentine.
Damn it.
Serpentine, thank you.
Serpentine for me as well. Look, has never really run out of this distance. That's the reason. That's the only query. Every time it's gone 3,200, it hasn't really done much. It's a failed Melbourne Cup horse, which, has been the form lines to use this autumn. Almost every failed Melbourne Cup horse has come out and actually done something. Finished 32 lengths off without a fight last time it came to this distance, but this is no Melbourne Cup. And at the end of the day, I'm pretty sure it had issues that day anyway. They can be a bit more patient with the ride. I feel like the last few times it's been at 3,200, they've tried to really, try and steal it with pace. I think, that horse showed last start that it has a second win with it if you're patient enough with it. I think distance is the only query. It's a very open race. The favourite rarely wins this one. So I think Serpentine at the low weight, $11 to win, $3.50 to place, has to be the bet there. We skip race 8. That'll be the main event. We'll go to race 9, the Queen of the Turf. I'm thinking there's only 2 horses in this one, mate, being at a Tissue and Zougotcha. You're thinking the same?
Yeah, Quinella play for sure. That'll be one of my major plays for the day. Zougotcha wins, in my opinion. A Tissue is a close second, but I'll box them just to be safe. Zougotcha will be my tip for the tip-off. Need I say more after what I think of her so highly?
I'll be with a Tissue. Zougotcha will be extremely hard to beat. She's back. She is back in a big way. A Tissue, likely the last start before she goes off to breed, as she's being sold at the broodmare sale in a couple months' time.
Won last year.
Exactly. She also comes third behind Prada Jenny and Cascadian in a really good Australian Cup there. Drops back the 400 metres. There's not much you can say about this horse. What you see is what you get. Always honest, always putting in a fairly decent run. I think, again, most punters know how a Tissue goes. Now she just, settles in, finds some cover, and then you go around the bend, and then whoever's on her decides to press the button, and then away she goes. Blake Shin could win on a broomstick right now, so if anyone can get her over the line here, it's him. He gave her absolute peach 2 starts back. So hopefully he does it again, $4.60, $1.90. If that gets to each way, oh my goodness me. That's one of the better bets of the day, I think. So we moved to the Queen Elizabeth, mate, but have you got the stats in front of you? Go through them. Because before we go through it, we like to touch on those key facts and stats. So here are the key facts and stats, punters, that you need to know before making your pick in the Queen Elizabeth Stakes.
Favourites have won 9 of the last 20 races.
The 3-year-old hasn't won in 27 years.
Only 7 winners have been female since 1987.
4 of those winners were Winks as well, by the way. So technically only 4 individual horses have gotten the job done. 10 of the last 13 winners have either won or come second in their final lead-up run.
You got 22 of the last 38 winners have come out of either the Tancred Stakes or the Rambit Stakes. So that's pretty good.
And 27 of the last 41 winners have had a barrier lower than 5. That one's a bit interesting to read into because, you know, obviously the shorter the barrier, better the horse's chances in most races, unless it's the Doncaster, as we touched on last week. But that's because this field doesn't often attract a capacity field. 14 is the capacity for it anyway. It's usually 14 of the best if we get all 14. Most years we have less than 10 or just over 10. Just because it's always a stacked race and you often have a big star scaring off a lot of the field. This year that star is Via Sustina, but we've got a few that aren't as scared off. Mate.
What a race.
Every year. We had Animo versus Dubai Honour last year, the year before that. We had Zaki versus Very Elegant versus Animo versus Think It Over the year before that. You could go on. It's always a stacked race and they've produced it yet again.
It was a pretty good race. Via Sustina, Pride of Jenny, Brightside Quinella, trifecta. Via Sustina wins. Waller's come out privately, not publicly, and said this is... Has it said it publicly?
I don't know, but the camp has been all over it.
The camp's been all over it. This horse has been the best horse they've had since Winks. So I don't know if that's been publicly said, but we've heard from our connections that that's what they've come out and said. And when it won its last start, I went and put some bets on personally for the futures. Didn't get much of a better price. I think I got it at $2.70. So
yeah, to get it at $2.25 here, you're cheering. The only thing that worries me is I thought this was an absolute M word until Pride of Jenny comes to town. She could absolutely obliterate this field with her pace. Either she can ruin it by stealing it, or she can ruin it by making them all chase her and bust their guts, and then some donkey's going to get up. Zaire could get up at $126 by just coming through because the rest of them are busted trying to keep up with Pride of Jenny. Because I feel like in this one, there's going to be a fail-safe here. There's going to be someone that, you know, goes with Pride of Jenny. Maybe it's one of the Waller runners to try and make sure she doesn't just skip away and bring her back to the pack so those others have a chance to
maybe a Lindemann or a Buckaroo.
Yeah, I don't know, but Cascadian, can it go out on a high? It certainly, you know, got the job done in the Australian Cup. Mr. Brightside, no, doesn't run 2,000. You already know my opinion on that.
It'll come in the top 3 though, mark my words.
You watch, it'll actually lose by a lip or it might even win just to make me look silly.
It'll come close. It'll come very close.
But look, I think Via Sustina, Pride of Jenny's your Quinella. I think Place du Carousel is a interesting one. It was closing off very nicely behind Via Sustina. Via Sustina did it with ease, but you know, Place du Carousel looked quite nice as well. Cascadian, always a wild card. I mean, Lindemann getting back out to a distance that's much more suited to it. Who knows? Via Sustina will be my play. I won't say load it as I would have before Pride of Jenny came to town, but I'm confident it still gets the job done.
Yeah, I'm happy with it. I think it wins. It wins pretty easily. Yeah, we'll leave it at that.
Fingers crossed, could be our next star of the turf as we were talking about
Hopefully.
earlier. Okay, mate, that's done and dusted. We look around the country now. Have you found anything at all?
You can go through with it first, mate.
Look, it's an interesting one because this is when Melbourne takes a little bit of a break and goes around the provincial tracks, as Sydney will be doing in a few weeks' time as they head to, you know, your Hawkesbury's, your Newcastles, Gosfords and Scones. At the moment, we're at Bendigo for what should be, I mean, a pretty good day. Bendigo Golden Mile, Bendigo Guineas. I'll go, sorry, I just lost it here. Race 6 at Bendigo. We've got Gaza Blanca. I've spoken about it multiple times on the podcast. I have a very high opinion of it. $3.90. I mean, it's better than this field. It should be winning. If it gets beat, maybe I'll have to lower my opinion of it. And then in race 7, Cerelio Miss comes off a year-long spell after I believe it was disqualified for a year or something. I'm pretty sure this is the horse. But she's very, very consistent horse. I think she'll be running a good race. $6.50 to win, $2.35 to place. That's about it.
Fair enough, mate. I'm going Sunshine in my pocket, race 8 in Bendigo, and then race number 9, I've got Just Folk at 13,390. So go with those two. Happy with that, but I'm pretty much sticking to Randwick this weekend.
Yeah, there's not a lot around the country other than Randwick. We'll go the Quaddie, mate. So for race 7, we'll go the favourite Circle of Fire. We'll go our tip, Serpentine. I think Ashrun has to go in there because he is absolutely flying. And who else should we whack in, mate?
We've got the favourite.
Yeah, we've got Circle of Fire. We got Serpentine. We got Ashrun. By the way...
You're doing the wrong race. Oh, no, I'm on Bendigo.
By the way, punters, we're doing them rolling now. Let us know if you prefer this. A bit of rolling, a bit of explanation behind it.
Yeah, I think it's a bit better. We can kind of discuss what we think while we're kind of picking it at the same time. Just makes a bit more sense. So then if someone goes, oh, I don't agree with that, they can change it themselves. That's.
If you prefer the old way, let us know. If you like it this way, let us know as well. We're here to serve you, punters.
And we'll go Stockman. Go Stockman.
Just in case he pops his head up. Fair enough. Race 8, the Queen Elizabeth. We'll go Via Sistina. We'll go Pride Jenny. We'll go Mr. Brightside.
Yep.
And then the 4th one. Do we go Cascadian or Plus A Do Carousel? Or do we even throw a Lindemann in? What are your thoughts?
Let's go Cascadian.
Just in case the old boy comes out on top. Race 9. Well, we've got our Tisha. We've got our Zugotcha. Yep. You may as well throw in a...
Tropical Squall.
And I want a Seminar. Seminar's been flying every start here, only just missed behind Zugotcha in the Cornwall.
Yep.
So, that extra distance won't do it any harm. And then to finish off the day, you go your red card, your favourite, and your tip, you go Tarshi, my tip. Miss Hellfire, always sniffing around there. And what do you want to finish it off with?
We'll go Saltaire to finish it off as well.
Yeah, that's more than fair. More than fair, mate. Of course, $50 gets you 19.5%. And we finally get to our best bets of the day. If you're having one bet around the country, where are you putting your money and why, Nick?
On Via Sistina.
Fair enough.
Biggest race of the day. Hard one to pick, but been backing this horse for a while now. Had that futures bet on. Pretty confident with it, and I'm going to stick with her. So, Via Sistina, thank you very much.
I'm glad you said that. When you said a while, I was like, it's had one start. Yeah, you meant...
Like my bet.
Had the bet on for
a
while.
Hey, bro, my bet,
for
bro.
the futures.
Thanks, bro.
I already said it. Osmosis. The kid wins. $3.10. If you can get anything more than that, get around it. I mean, it's the mock community horse.
Jolly Star.
Osmosis, he gets it done.
That got more recognisers than the podcast in Adelaide.
Yeah, people just shouting Osmosis at me. I'm more than happy to be recognised as the Osmosis guy if that's the character people have deemed me with. Hey, getting recognised is getting recognised, mate. I'd rather get recognised for something like that than getting recognised for something cancelable. So, I mean, we'll take it. But apart from that, punters, big weekend. We're finishing off next week with the All-Age Stakes Day and the Champagne Stakes. But hopefully you've come out on top in the championships. And hopefully big day of winning. Anything else to say, Nick?
Xander top 5 in the Masters. Cameron Smith top 20. And Bartia, the left-hander, top 30. $18 multi. It's my tip for the Masters. If you've made it this far, if you want to get into it, you probably won't get onto it unless you listen to it tonight. But pretty happy with that. Minwoo leader missed the cut at $3. Broken finger.
Yeah, broken finger.
So unless they pump him full of drugs, which they definitely can do. But we'll wait and see. That's my tip if you want to get on it. Shout out to Sam Horner. He wanted to hear that. So
fair enough.
Thank you.
All right, we'll see you next week, punters.
See you guys.